Hi everybody, it's Friday and I've got some journals to share with y'all today. This is a long journal that measures 10 by 5. And on the cover, I tied it with just a piece of lace, and I put, this is part of a round, I don't know, you wouldn't call it quite a doily, but it was just maybe a placemat, a half of a placemat or something. But anyway, I cut it in half and used it here because I like the little embroidery doodads on it. And I put some fabrics here. This has got a book page behind it, and a little yarn rose, and some laces and fabrics. And I inked it up so it would look kind of not super grungy, but just a little old. And we're going to go inside. Let's see what we got in here. On the inside, I used a khaki fabric behind it, and then another, here they come, and another little, this is part of a blanket or a tablecloth, I'm not sure which, and just different fabrics and some seam binding, and a little mini doily here. And again, the fabric on the inside matches the fabric on the outside, and I inked it up a bit. And then I put one of these cute little cards in it. It's a hard card with some fabric, a little stenciling there. And then you've got this area to write on, and then you could put an image here if you wanted. And then it's got a card on the inside. It's been coffee dyed. But this ribbon that holds it together does come off of it so that you can have access to writing. And let's tie that back up. And in it goes. And it does, it's grungy, but it's not as super grungy as I've done before. Let me just check and make sure that I am still in frame. Yes, I am. Good girl. And I did some stamping and some inking, and then, of course, every page has been coffee dyed, and this is the natural coffee dye. It's got some fabrics and some cutouts here of some flowers. And stitching I did in a brown. Little piece of fabric running down there with the lace. I used some of those images from that catalog, that old catalog book that I have. And it's got ephemera and pretty images throughout. Some light stamping here and some laces and different fabrics, and then the stitching around the edge. And this is, I think this is Swedish, possibly. Not sure. Another piece of ephemera there with a pretty image of a lady and a little cutout there. What am I trying to say? Not cutout, die cut. Excuse me. Some lace running down here with the stitching. This is the natural coffee dye. I don't know how that happens, but it's so cool. Part of a book page here with an image that I just sewed around. The music paper over here. Little mini pocket over here. This is the stitching from the other side, and I put a real pretty image of two ladies there. And this is a seam binding flower, and a little pocket with a ruffle, and a little card with some of my yarns that I have from my stash. And the thread you don't want. I never can get all the threads out of it sometimes. I go through it 100 times, I always find another one. Little pretty image here, and that's from the catalog book. And this has got some duck cloth and some cheesecloth and all kinds of goodies there. Look, you can get a royal aluminum tea kettle with the panel design for $1.89. It's 5 quarts. That just cracks me up. Another pretty stamped image here and some inking going on and a die cut. And this is a doily, but it was really, it's stiff. I don't know. I got it at an estate sale, and it's a pretty big piece. And of course, I just cut a little square off of it. But it was real stiff, so I don't know if it was starched or if it was just that way, or I don't know. But it makes a wonderful pocket. Another image here with some fabrics. Plenty of places to write, and plenty of pretties. A pretty lady there with the stitching going down the side. And over here is a pocket, and it's got a little patch on it and some fuzzies and a flower made out of book paper, a little brad right there, and a cloth doily. Pretty image up here with some cards. I love these pockets. And of course, lace going down and stitching here. Over here is a little patch pocket y'all know I like to make. And seam binding, coffee dyed seam binding going down there. And a pretty image of a lady. And a nice card that's been embossed and inked. And then it's got a piece of burlap there. And some more ephemera. Another pretty image. Cute little puppy, and her dress is just gorgeous. A little image there. And from that catalog, and part of a book page, and then this is a half of a book page flower with some seam binding, and there's the other side of it. Got some music paper here, and some cheesecloth and stamping going on. Just real pretty images throughout. Another little pocket here, the same type of pocket, except for it doesn't have the patch. You just folded it over and put some laces, and that's a book page flower with some different fabrics behind it and seam binding. A pretty image here and some stamping, and that's the natural coffee dye. And then it's got seam binding going down here and some laces. And then we have a cute little postcard. Now see, on this one, I have a white pen that sometimes I like to write with, so I would use my white pen on here. And then another card. Another little patch here with some different fabrics and part of a doily. And a little card, a little flower and a pearl. And then another pretty image. I think that is, yeah, I think this is a Russian to English book that I found in an estate sale. Another pretty image here. And some fabric up here and stitching at the top. Here's another one of those little mini pockets with a fabric flower and a doily there. And a die cut there with pretty stamping and stuff going on in the background. Another part from that catalog. $18.50 for a leather suitcase. $18.50. Boy, that would be a Christmas buy, wouldn't it? The prices were still like that. Got some duck cloth here and cheesecloth and a little stamping. Some dapper gentlemen with a little cutout from the catalog. And the stitching. Got a little music paper and some lace here, and I stitched around that. Here's another little pocket with a little patch and the seam binding flower. Loving those seam binding flowers. I made a bunch last night while I was watching TV. You know, I can't be idle. I have to constantly be doing something. I wonder if everybody who crafts feels the same way. You can't be still. You always got to be making something. Got some fabrics here and stitching and part of a book page. Another pretty image, pretty lady, die cut out. I just love this book. Stitching going all the way around. Yeah, I really, really like this book. It'll be hard to part with this one. Another image. I almost took, show you how goofy I am. I almost took this fruit bowl from the catalog and put it with this. I almost stuck it up here, and then I thought, well, no. I don't really want that on a picture because it'd make them look like a fruit bowl. Okay, that's enough of my sick humor. But I did think it was funny. Got some fabrics here and a little cutout there. And then this is the same as the front. It's got the seam binding, part of a crochet doily, a little mini doily there, and a little doodad thing that I like to make. And then I did ink the back. A little card here. And then another big card with a cute bow. And, of course, the lace for the tie closure. And I like, when I tie it, I like to squinch the edges a little bit. I'll show you what I mean. I just think that, well, nope, that didn't work. Come back here. Do right. And I like to tie it on the side. And then I like to take this part and pinch it so it like gathers right here. It's just the little things that just make it look so pretty. And pinch it there so it kind of comes in. And that's it for this video. And I will thank y'all for being here. And I will see y'all very shortly in the next video. Bye-bye.